Welcome, patrons. To be quite honest, the first concept that really got me into Dragon Age was Dreamers. So in honor of that, and because a few of you have asked me to, let's go over what Dreamers are and can do. What are Dreamers? First, I want to read out the technical definition in the World of Thedas book. Dreamer, one among the first humans said to communicate with the old gods and learn magic, now used to refer to any sleeping or lost person's presence in the Fade. So while us fans use the word dreamer to mean any person with this unique ability, the game really uses it as both this way and to mean any person's form in the Fade. This can get confusing in some codex entries, so you kind of have to just assume based on context what the meaning is. And the Tevinter word Somniari is barely used at all, despite being a great substitute that would make this a lot less confusing to some, but that's that. So before we get into what a dreamer can do, we probably should outline what is normal for people of Thedas. Remember that in Thedas, when you dream, you are sort of projecting yourself into the Fade, where spirits act out your thoughts. Also, think of this whole process on a sliding scale rather than hard bars. There are some mages whose connection to the Fade is pretty weak, and so is their dreams, while some dreamers are more powerful than others. In Thedas, dwarves don't dream at all. Elves, humans, and Qunari non-mages can dream, but have no control over what is happening, and you are in no threat from demons. Most of the time, their form in the Fade is hazy and not quite complete, so dreams come in the forms of hazy images and thoughts. Mages, on the other hand, generally don't have control of the Fade around them, but can realize it is a dream easier than non-mages. And demons and spirits also take an interest in them. For a mage, their form in the Fade is more solid, so this can mean more nightmares or vivid dreams. So, dreamers are then a step further. These are mages who can control the Fade while dreaming, able to change the Fade to their will and visit others in the Fade. Dreamers have a whole list of abilities that they can and can't do, so let's just go over those. They can walk the Fade at will, meaning that they are able to find paths in the Fade to places they want to go, where others might have a destination in mind but not really be able to know how to get there. They're able to find others in the Fade and talk with them, and this can be used to send messages over great distances. Be able to see past experiences when dreaming in a place where it happened. The technicalities behind this is that the spirits in the Fade have witnessed the major events in the area, and when prompted, will act out the scene in dreams. But this does mean that the spirits are acting out a person's memory, which can be faulty or skewed one way or another. Dreamers can alter the Fade around them. This means that they can turn their dreams into anything they want. They can fly, they can have all the women or men they want, but it does come at a price. If one were to alter the dream too much, it could attract powerful demons. Also, due to this altering power, it is said that dreamers can kill others or drive them mad via the Fade. We haven't really seen this done in-game, with the closest thing we have is the ending of the Masked Empire, which technically it is debated if the person who was harmed is actually dead, so we're not quite sure if this is something that's going to be continued on, or if it's just something that was said and not really real, so In the waking world, dreamers are also sensitive to demons and can cause them pain. We aren't really sure why and what it does to the dreamer, to be honest, although we only hear this from one dreamer, and Solas never really says anything about being in pain in the presence of a demon. But this might just be from his vast experience, and Solas is just on a whole nother level that we might as well just throw him out of this video. Because dreamers are so powerful, they have been sought after by many demons looking to get into the waking world. And because so many dreamers are so sensitive to demons, many can't resist a possession and die. So for the moment, living dreamers are very rare. We aren't exactly sure if this is specific to dreamers, but in Dragon Age 2, it is stated that if killed in the Fade, a dreamer will become tranquil in the waking world. As we don't really know the exact process to tranquility, we aren't sure if this is a different type of tranquility or unique to dreamers themselves. From the world of Thedas, it also seems that dreamers can be hard to wake up, among other strange behavior. A quote talking about Ariani and Fainriel: "There were times when she could not wake him from his sleep. More alarmingly, on rare occasions he would freeze while awake and occupied, as though his mind had suddenly stopped working. When that happened, it could take up to an hour for Fainriel to come back to his senses." In the ancient Elven society, which we will get to in a little bit, there were dreamers so powerful they were able to survive off their energy of the Fade alone. No food or water was needed. Now, there are things that can help dreamers with their abilities and non-dreamers to have some similar effects. For Dwarven people, becoming a warden and, at least for the Inquisitor, getting a strange mark that is the key to unlocking the Fade, I guess, seems to connect them to the Fade enough to be able to dream. For non-mages, powerful magic and sleeping near where the veil is torn can help one dream like a mage or a dreamer. And for mages, blood magic or lots of lyrium can help one walk the Fade like a dreamer. But none of the ones I have said really give the full power set. For dreamers themselves, there are said to be herbs that can help one fall asleep quickly, as well as herbs that keeps one's mind away from the Fade. A strange machine called the Magrellan was created by the Tevinter Imperium to use blood to help enhance dreamer abilities. History. Before the Veil in the time of the ancient elves, we aren't sure who were dreamers, but we do think that there was a large population of them. Honestly, this is just a lot of speculation about dreamers in Arlathan, but the facts that we know are as such. The practice known as Euthenera was common for elder elves, who would enter the Fade with no intention of waking up. From the stories we have, these elders seemed to be a higher class, and servants would help feed them a mixture of herbs, honey, and water until the elder could sustain themselves in the Fade. Near the end of the Empire, some servants became angry with their masters and would murder them while they slept. Others stopped taking care of them and they died of starvation. Elders who were able to sustain themselves were moved to beds of pure white and seemed to hold a high place in society. Now, while they slept, the elder could still be talked to in the Fade, many of them reaching parts that were unexplored, which we don't even know what that really means. And here is where history gets a bit sticky, and we aren't sure the order of events, but our best guess is that the veil goes up and the humans somehow enter the picture. The first human dreamer was named Thalcian, and was from the Near-Median tribe. Thalcian would describe that he found the old god Dumat in the Fade, and he taught him blood magic. In their language, they would call people with this ability Somniari. Over time, various old gods would reach out to human dreamers from the Near-Median tribe, and these dreamers would become kings and priests in their society. We then have another giant skip in time to when Tevinter was created, and there's kind of a lot more to the story about the old gods and dreamers, but to be quite honest, it's not really relevant for this video, so that's for another day when we focus on the old god religion. But here is where the first reports of Tevinter dreamers able to kill others in their sleep began. If you remember Dragon Age Origins, Adralla, the same mage to invent a way to stop blood magic from possessing another, also discovered a way to protect others from dreamers. We don't actually know what that is, though. Eventually, we hit a point where the famed Tevinter Magisters opened up a rift into the Fade and the first Darkspawn were created. What's interesting is that this coincides with the decline in the Dreamer population. After the opening of the rift, no one was able to hear the voice of the old gods in their dreams, and fewer mages were born with this ability. There is some talk that currently only those with Dalish blood can be dreamers, as with Fanril, the only known dreamer who can still be alive, minus Solus, who we were just throwing out of this video. But there was Aurelian Titus in the comics, who was a dreamer from the Tevinter Imperium and presumably completely human. I guess there's a chance he's not, but that's whatever. Fanril was also the first known dreamer in centuries, minus Titus, who I guess the lore forgot about or who hid his abilities. That's just... I don't know, the games just like to forget these things sometimes. But either way, the point is that there is a long time where dreamers, if born, would die young. Until recently. So it seems that something is happening. And that, dear patrons, is all that we currently know on the dreamers, even if there's still a lot we don't really know. Do you still have lingering questions, proof that I'm wrong? Comments about your own fan theory. Feel free to tweet me at Gildathon on Twitter or send a PM to user Gillanon on Reddit. Teresh Sharal.